Recording is on.
Hello, hello.
Hey.
Hi.
We've got the whole gang out here.
How's the Mediterranean?
It's extremely hot. And it's currently 11 p.m.
Oh, look at you guys. This is
But
awesome.
we're actually out on a walk right now.
Was the
And
I guess we'll get to it when we do the roundabout, but
Yeah.
the event happened. The event happened today, right?
Yes, it did.
Nice.
Sure did.
Excellent.
Yeah.
They said they met JC only 2 months.
Should we walk? Let's
Yeah,
go.
well, we're going to walk for a little bit.
We'll
All right. Let's see here. Hey, Sherelle. I'm glad you made it out there. That was good.
Yes, I finally made it. I'm out walking with them, but I said I'd sign in too.
Awesome.
Everyone.
Awesome. Cool. Well, let's get started. Welcome to the Bat Community Call for Tuesday, July 1st, 2025, into a new month. Hope you all are doing well. Yeah, I think, we're recording and lots going on. I think, I don't know if we're doing a deck today or not. I'm guessing.
Yes, we are.
Oh, we are. Look at that. All right. Well, Pal is more prepared for this than I was, so I will hand it off to her.
Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to share my screen in just a second. One moment, please. Okay, one more second. Hang on. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Okay, hi everyone. Hope you are having a lovely day. As you can see, Jenny and the team are in Cannes today. So I think I don't know if they're going to share some updates, but I'm going to cover some of them, some of the updates for them. But next week, I'm sure they'll come with a bunch of fresh updates from the event. So we'll have a lot of great slides for you. We're also not streaming on X, but it's being, just like Luke said, it's being recorded. So we will be uploading it to YouTube and also adding
Wait,
it.
is that Adam?
It's Adam.
Are you off mute? I think you're off mute, Jenny.
Jenny, mute.
Is it me?
Sorry.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh my God.
All right.
Sorry,
Technical
everybody.
difficulties.
Sorry,
No
everybody.
worries.
We're all on the call on different phones, and we're standing in close proximity. So that's what you.
No worries. It's fun. Hope you're having fun though.
We are. Thank you for leading the deck today, Paola.
No, my pleasure. My pleasure. It's nice to be here.
This is awesome. We came to support.
Thank you. Okay, so I just said that it's going to be uploaded to YouTube, and I'm going to add it to the written summaries so you don't miss it. Okay, now the X Spaces. So just a small recap from the past X Spaces. On June 13th, we did Word of Mouth, the power of community and creators in Web3. Then the following week, we did Rewards Incentives, the heartbeat of Web3. And last week on Friday, as usual, on June 27th, we had Search Me, Why Big Tech Doesn't Want You to Know What's Next. And that was a good one. And I wanted to let you know that because it's 4th of July and also most of the team are in Cannes, we will not have a space, but we are the next week, of course, so don't miss it. But yeah, no space this Friday, just so you know. Okay, and now, are you going to say something?
No.
Oh, okay. I heard something. Okay. So now we are very excited to announce that we just published the Brave Rewards 3.0 partner program from June, the updates from June. And we have a lot of great projects. And some of the highlights include Bandon supporting 20 Web3 projects in running self-hosted campaigns through Brave's private advertising platform. Then Brave and Ubisoft hosting a live community event on July 1st at ETHCC in Cannes, Masters of Pétanque and gameplay with the new Brave avatar skin. So it's happening right now. Then over 6K .brave domains minted on Unstoppable Domains, which is awesome. Then the debut of a new Brave themed character mask in Decentraland. Also, Fanon and Brave working directly to launch Brave games. To launch Brave games. Also, a collaboration on an exclusive Brave merch capsule for the Golf and Pro Shop. Then over 225K bat locked in Guano Coins K for increased utility on Solana. Also very great news. And lastly, a new Brave community group on the Moonwalk Fitness app. So if you want to learn more and see more information about this, you can go to the blog and read the full update at the link that I'm sharing right here. And we also made a post on X, so don't miss it. Okay, now we have some community highlights this week that I wanted to share with you. So first, just like I said, more than 6,000 .brave domains were minted on Unstoppable Domains. And actually, Luke posted yesterday a new update that we're almost at 7,000 domains minted, which is amazing. So if you haven't created yours, it's not too late to do it. You can get your Brave domain at get.unstoppabledomains.com/brave. And you can also buy with BAT, so no excuses. But yeah, this is very, very great.
We're at right now at 6,957, which is
wow.
Awesome. Yeah. So we're almost to 7,000, which should be. I mean, we have to, like, if we hit 10,000, that's like blowing people's minds. So like we're doing that faster than we thought we were going to.
Oh, that's so good. And thank you so much for sharing the new update with us. But yeah, that's that. And then Brave just sponsored last week the first non-conference conference, Solana Solstice in New York City. And so they did a new tab takeover at Campaign on Brave. I don't know if Luke or Sherelle, do you have more details on that?
I know that we're promoting it. I don't have a ton of other details about it specifically, but we had been tweeting about it, and that one actually came through Carlos. So I'm not sure. I don't think Carlos is here today, but if he is and wants to share.
Okay, thank you.
Keep going.
Oh, actually, Sherelle wants to add something.
Oh, go ahead.
So we are one of the sponsors of the event, but it was a Carlos event. So I don't have a ton of details, but we did sponsor it, and we will hopefully have some pictures next week.
Cool.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Sherelle. Okay, and lastly, well, you know, the BAT team, including Jenny, Battern, Guillermo, Sherelle, are at the Ethereum Community Conference in Cannes right now. Jenny talked about this last week, but we partner with Ubisoft there for the Masters of Pétanque, the event, which is a recreational Pétanque tournament. And also they had a side event during the event as well, the ETHCC. Well, I think it's around 10 p.m. there, so it's probably over by now, but you know, the team, if they want to chime in, the team will share everything about it next week on the BAT community call. So, and also stay tuned for posts on X.
Yeah, I can jump in real quick.
Perfect.
If you'd like. Yeah, so we are heat zombies because it is so hot here. So forgive me if I sound a little silly or inarticulate, but the event was really great today. There were tons and tons of people who came to play in the Pétanque tournament. We had a brave team playing Pétanque against Ubisoft and against other competitors who came to play in the tournament. And we even had Pétanque balls, like they're like these like metal balls that fit in the palm of your hand that you play with. And ours were engraved with the Brave Lionhead logo, which was awesome. And there are pictures of those on social media if you want to go see. Yeah, it was an all around just wonderful event, and lots of people came and everybody had a good time. And I know that Guillermo and Batern snuck away a couple of times to go to the actual ETC main conference. Oh no, sorry, Batern saying no.
We escaped to do some networking at a side party, but I think it was something which is going to be very fruitful for Bat and Brave.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the updates.
Yeah, we'll share more details next week too. Once our brains have come back to their normal temperatures.
Thank you, Jenny, and thank you, Battern, for sharing updates about the event. Okay, and this is also about the event at Masters of Pétanque. Jenny shared this post on the Basic Attention Token account, and they also wanted me to let you know that they won all of their games of Pétanque, so it's awesome, and I love the Brave logo on the ball, and that's G, of course, holding it. Okay, I don't know if Battern can give an update about this because it's his slide. If not, I can just.
I could jump in. If you hear any loud noises, it's because we're literally just walking along a promenade. I might even continue reading in third person for my own amusement. Bat Ambassador's update this week. This week, Batern is leading from the front, relentlessly shilling Bat and Brave to everyone he encounters. If they are creating value in the space too, he has been trying to get them to buy adverts or create a deeper partnership. Revision has been an absolute machine setting up spaces, and we have like 3 in a row now. He's giving me more leads, like for people who want to have like a big old community space that I can even keep up with. Stan has his own project set up now, Block Tech Radio. You should check it out. Aaron Yaka has set up a Cardano stake pool for the Bat community if you wish to delegate some ADA. And that's this slide. Yeah, I'll be a host on Stan's network as well because he's helped me so much that I'm going to help him. So I left my mark on the FCC board. If you check closely, you might be able to find 3 different things on there. So we'll give people a couple of moments. But if you want a bit of a longer look, it is also on my X.
I can see the Brave browser logo. Is that correct?
Yeah, the Brev, because I went off my bad drawing of it. I couldn't call it Brave. I had to call it Brev.
That's really good.
If you look at the bottom, yeah, okay, but there's a final one somewhere. It's not. It doesn't look. It is.
I knew it. Oh yeah, I saw that.
I did the wing the wrong way round, but otherwise good. All right, I think I've got one more slide. Oh, Batern was here. Oh, okay. So I've been a privacy respecting pelican. A lot of events make you take a selfie for them with swag or the refreshments. But this is how I've been getting past that. I've just been generating it with AI, and it's a much nicer way. And actually, some people kind of appreciate that it's a little bit different. Yeah, but that's all, folks.
Thank you so much, Battern, for your updates. And now for additional updates. For the weekly Bat Community Call summaries, we are currently updating the Bat Community's Notion. So we will be a little late with the weekly written summaries, like publishing them and all. So the one from last week, number 58, is ready in English and Spanish. So we're going to publish it as soon as we can. And same thing with the translations in Hindi for number 49 to 56. and 56 and 57 in Japanese. So we'll let you know as soon as they become available in Notion. Then last week we had a call with a team from Crypto Latin Fest in Colombia to discuss our possible sponsorship. So we talked about different ideas and opportunities, logistics and all that. So we hope to have an update for you next week. And a couple of months ago, the BAT Mexico team, Cariño and Eric, they attended. Oh, sorry, that was my puppy. Cariño and Eric, they attended the event, Talentland, and represented Brave there. And we share a bunch of great photos and content in general on social media, and they have been working on more video content like interviews and things like that. So Cariño put together a very nice one. I'm going to share that with you in just a second. And also Eddie keeps working on more. So hopefully we can share them very, very soon. Okay, so here's the video from Cariño, and you can watch it on the BAT Mexico Instagram and also on X, but I'm also going to be uploading it to YouTube, to the BAT Community YouTube channel. So yes, and also we'll make a post about it in English as well. But this is basically a small interview they did with one attendee. I mean, it makes more sense if you watch it with sound, obviously, because this was a trend on TikTok. But it's basically him explaining why he loves Brave, what he likes the most, and you can see like the nature clips and everything else, which kind of it basically represents like perfection and a place in peace, and everything is beautiful. It's really hard to explain because again you have to hear the music, and hopefully you've seen the trend, so with that you can fully get it. But I thought it was brilliant. It was a great reference. But yeah, shout out to BAT Mexico for the video. It's very, very nice. Thank you. And of course, we have the highlights of the week from different X posts. So Brave quoted this post from a user sharing his browser stats, and I went straight to the thread and I found all these other similar posts, which is very, very nice to see. Like everyone was sharing their trackers and apps blocked on the browser. So I wanted to share that with you because it's very, like I said, it's very nice. So as usual, thank you so much for the love and support. And now, I don't know if Lukasz is here, but he wanted to present you. Are you here?
I see him here.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Hi, how are you?
I'm all right.
Glad to hear
How
that.
everybody's doing?
Good.
We're doing good, yeah.
Very small group today, I must say.
Yeah, this is summer. People are out summering.
The only thing I can say, they're all missing out.
100%.
The best show is when I'm present.
I love it.
Okay, let's begin. Hello and welcome everybody in the crypto hell. Depression. This week ratio of my favorite mixture of Copium x Hopium 2017 vintage stands at 35% of Copium against 65% of Hopium, meaning there is a light at the end of the tunnel. We know that. Last week, Jenny asked me to create another poem and she proposed a subject to grasp on. I wonder if you could all figure out what it's all about. As we can see, Jen is present, so there is no need to listen to this recording. Only anybody who's not present, probably they will just missed out. Okay, so let's begin. Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I live for these moments.
You were, okay, no problem. Let's begin. I guess you can all hear me well. Okay, so here it goes. I walked through nights that never knew the dawn, where laughter echoed like a ghost long fled. The days were heavy, every color gone, and even dreams grew pale with quiet dread. The world moved on, I watched, but did not move. Its step too much, each breath a bitter toll. No hand to grasp, no warmth, no heart to prove that I was more than just a shadowed soul. But then, a glint so small it seemed a trick, a crack of gold along the tunnel wall. It didn't speak, no promise something quick, no sudden flare, no clarion call at all, just basic attention, quiet, soft, and small. No praise, no stage, just someone's quiet gaze, and that alone began to lift a haze. Hope isn't loud, it starts with just a gleam, and sometimes all it takes is just a dream. That's it.
Love it, man.
And this quarter is called
Yay!
Light at the End. So I guess what's going on just now? All right, so next slide. Yes, I didn't have to say, just straight on to the next slide. Let me spread some pastoral announcements. A few months ago, we mentioned about Skynet on Certic website, that people can rate our basic attention token. Last time we mentioned about on Certic, our rating was standing about 3.7. So after a few months, it went up from 3.7 to 4.3, as you can see on the slides. 4.3 out of 5 stars. And overall rank stands at 64. So that's not bad for considering the whole market. This is like you have like thousands of crypto. And there is also, as you can see on the slide, there's also additional feature Certic website added recently. It's called a pulse feed. So as you can see on the slide, it shows impulses when crypto in question gets noticed or it's trending. So yes, it's true that our bot was trending this early morning. Whether it's related to the event in Cannes, I wouldn't know. Only God knows. But we can clearly see that something's brewing. So I think that's it from me today. So see you next time.
Thank you, Lukash. That was awesome.
Thank you so much for your updates and the poem.
Yeah, that was short.
No, you did great. And that's all from us today. Thank you so much.
Awesome. No, that's great. Great updates. Yeah, I got a few things too. I can update, just share, might be known, might not be known to folks. So like, first off, there was an update around Brave. We've actually put our Android browser, we launched a repository on F-Droid so that folks can access Brave through F-Droid instead of having to go through Google Play, which I know that's been requested by people for quite a long time. So it's kind of cool to see that launch. Also, Zcash Media, one of the reward partner programs that we announced, I think it was in April, they just released a new video about Brave and shielded Zcash. It was part of what we were working together on through the program. So we'll be promoting that through the program coming up to help inform people of like what Zcash does, like how people can make shielded transactions and things like that in Brave, and getting that going. It was pretty good. It was cool to see them do this, and it's part of like the overall effort we're making to kind of engage more with creators, etc. And then finally, there was a update. We released an AI roadmap for Leo. An update for that went out. I think we tweeted about it and it's on the website too. And some of the features, like we have some agentic features that are landing in Nightly pretty soon that are pretty cool. But I think, yeah, you're going to see a lot more leaning into the agentic side of things. And obviously there's a balance here between, not giving the agent full run over the browser experience, but also like using AI agents to like handle things in the browser, like that can be handled and make life a little more convenient, and start to push what we can do there, which would be awesome. So yeah, that's some just some house cleaning updates there. Also, I think it's great that teams that can. I really appreciate everybody getting the reward partner program update out. I wanted to share a little bit. I also appreciate everybody stepping up last week when I was out. I was going to share a bit of an update on that. So last Tuesday, I made a trip that was like a really short trip, but it was a decent trip to New York, to the Permissionless conference. And I got to meet up with several people there. I met up with Chris Gent, who's at IOHK. We did the Cardano partnership with them. I know that many of the ambassadors also made it out to New York before Permissionless to meet up with some of the Midnight folks around the Glacier airdrop that's coming up. Super cool to see. I met with Chris Gent about that, about the airdrop, about things that we can work together on and collaborate on with that, and around the upcoming Cardano integration, and some planning there, which is pretty cool. And then also I met with Angel she worked on Pudgy Pop through the program, and we're working with her on in her team and her platform on some Brave games too, and also on some stuff around the Midnight airdrop as well. Trying to kind of, we've been building up this cohort of partners through the program since we launched it. We're going to keep adding to them as well, but one of the things we really wanted to do as part of the program is get them to kind of collaborate and coordinate together, and also like use the program to bring awareness to people around what these different dApps and partners are doing. One thing that we saw with from the work Angel did with Pudgy Pop was just like the responses we got from people. That social gaming element, there's something to it. Like, and when we were speaking with Angel about it, like she has some really great ideas around how we could gamify the program and the partner experience that we have through the program with rewards users, and turn it up, a few notches there. And so we're going to be working with her on that, which is pretty awesome coming up. But I get to meet with her in person in New York as part of the trip as well, and do some coordinating there, which is really cool. And I think that this is going to help a lot with like engagement and getting people like active on socials and getting more attention on things and stuff like that. The numbers we saw from the Pudgy Pop game were really good, and the stuff that she's doing with her platform too is pretty awesome. There's a whole like prediction market element to it where it's good points around like not everybody necessarily wants to play the game, but people are happy to predict the outcomes of the players that are in the game. It's just super interesting, and I think it's a right mix of ingredients. So excited to see where that goes, and work with her and her team on that in the months ahead. It's pretty cool. Brendan also made an appearance at Permissionless as well. He did a discussion on stage with the Midnight president or something like that, and then also did some press stuff while he was there. And yeah, like there's just a lot going on at the moment, whether it's the AI side or crypto or even BAT. There's a bunch of things going on behind the scenes too around how we can open up new types of rewards with BAT, and keep pushing on the V3 roadmap, but also look deeper in the funnel. And part of the trip too was taking some meetings around that topic and kind of working through next steps there, which I hope to share with you guys pretty soon. But I think we're seeing some cool stuff happening. And one thing we've also noticed too, that I wanted to share is that, doing this with Midnight, participating in this airdrop, it's getting attention too, and we're getting other people reaching out to us with similar ideas and stuff. And so we're having pretty interesting discussions around that. So hopefully more to come on that in the future. I also heard too, like it was great that Christopher was able to make it last week. I hope folks enjoyed having him on and talking through a lot of the rewards, the questions and answers and all of that stuff. Just kind of curious too, the folks in Cannes, like how is the turnout? Are there a lot of people out there? If you guys are still there. Wow. Oh yeah. And gone. Ha! All good. All good. So yeah, I think I'll open it up. I know we've got a small audience today. It's a midsummer holiday week. So I'll open it up if folks have questions. Otherwise, yeah. Anybody have anything you want to talk about? Lukash.
Yeah, I have a question. The audience is small, but these are the most fanatical.
Agreed.
But anyway, the question is, I was really wanted to ask you that for some time, but always keep forgetting. When you have this your own blog, when you invite different people,
Oh, the podcast?
Yeah, the podcast. Yeah. So I was wondering, where do you get all these people? Do they line up to you to speak with you, or just ask them? How do you invite them?
It's a great question. It's kind of a mix of things. So, we have a couple people that help with the podcast. There's our producer Sam. She helps coordinate a lot of things, and she's on whenever we do the recordings. But we get inbound a lot from people that see the podcast and want have guest requests that come on. Also, Angelina on our team does a lot of outreach too. Given that we have like a mix of partners, and then even with the API side too, we have like AI customers and stuff like that. Sometimes she does outreach to them, or just interesting people that she finds out there. So she does a good amount of outreach, and then I do a lot of outreach too. So like if there's something interesting that I'm seeing, or there's people that I find interesting to talk to, sometimes I'll just reach out to them. Like I did a couple episodes recently, like this one with Scott Mann that we did about Signal and Pineapple. I saw him on a podcast. I just reached out to him and said, hey, look, like I have a feeling a lot of folks using Signal that are in our audience probably aren't aware what this whole thing was. Like, let's have you come on. And then like John Kiriakou was the same type of thing where I just reached out to them. So it's a mix of those three things. Sometimes too, like we do get a lot of just inbound, but part of me too is like sometimes doing a lot of these, because we release them every week, right? And then sometimes I do solo ones, and there aren't really a lot of breaks. So one thing I noticed is that I like to kind of like shake it up every once in a while. Like I can only have questions about like what an LLM is so many times before I want to go nuts. And so sometimes like breaking away from that is kind of interesting too. So like the team will like look into like different things that are current. So we had a guest on recently. We were talking about like, electronic vehicle charging and how people are using AI for that or whatever. Basically like, how we can, how just interesting conversations come from those things. But I'm always like open for suggestions too. So if there's anybody you all want to see on, let me know. Cause like I have no problem. I'll go reach out to anybody and try and get them on. That's kind of how that works. We also are like, I'm doing the first episode this week from the Batcave that I've been building in my garage. So pretty stoked for that too, which you guys will see pretty soon here. So that'll be hopefully sounding and looking much better. And I'm pretty pumped for that. So if there's any doubt around conviction, literally have the Batcave at home. Yeah, Bows, love to get recommended guests. Anybody you have in mind, love to reach out and get them on. We're also doing some more live episodes too coming up. So we'll be in Rare Evo in Las Vegas in August, and we're going to be doing live recordings from Rare Evo, from the Brave booth. We're bring cameras and having guests there from live at the conference too. We did that in New York in December. It was kind of lo-fi and more of a test, but it went pretty well and the episodes did pretty good. So we're going to do it again, a little bit more better production value and at Rare Evo. And so it's fun. I think it's cool. Like it's good to get the word out. We meet some cool people there and it leads to interesting stuff most of the time. So anyway, that's how that works. We're also like putting up some numbers too. I think we're close to 600,000 downloads for the podcast so far, which is pretty cool. All right.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah, what's up with you?
Not much, man. Summertime.
I have a quick question. A couple. One is Brandon coming on, and is there any place that I can watch the interview that's not behind the paywall?
For the one he did in permissionless?
Yes.
Yeah, let me see if I can find that. I'm not sure where that is, but let me see if I can find that for you and send it to you. And then I'm going to try and get Brendan back on here soon. And then also I'm going to get him on the podcast too.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, man.
Have a great Fourth.
Yeah. All right, Bowz, you got a couple items. Let's run through them, my man. If you're available now, if not, we can come back to you. I can't tell from the message if you're trying to get time on your side or you're trying to get time on the floor. Oh God, I got it. Okay, yeah, we can revisit. There's been some other interesting stuff this week. I don't know if people have been following coming out of Cannes. People saw Robinhood is doing tokenized equities, which is pretty cool. And there's also like X stocks on Solana too that dropped this week. Pretty interesting stuff where you've got kind of the Genius Act kind of codifying, stable coins as a serious thing in the US. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you're starting to see tokenized equities offerings, which opens up the whole equities market to the world. It's early, obviously, and there's some good threads out there breaking down how the mechanics of this work with the current iterations that are out there. But I think that you're just seeing us play out more and more. You're going to have like more tokenization of finance, whether that's stable coins and or equities or other mechanisms. And again, I think we're working behind the scenes on some updated rewards economics models that we can work into this that kind of fit into this paradigm pretty well too. So more to come on that, but it's something we've been working on for several months, and I'm excited to get it out there. But you're seeing this wave happening now, and it's exciting because it's long overdue. There's a real energy to get more adoption out there and get more use for this, because people are seeing more and more how the tech is an upgrade on the kind of dinosaur models we have out there in the world right now. And so it's pretty exciting stuff going on. And we're just kind of getting started with all of it. It's also cool to see like the .brave domains. I think it opens us up to, I don't know if folks saw like last week or maybe the week before, like Apple released, they have this like cash feature where you can kind of send money to anybody, but there's all these caveats where you have to be in the US or, and even more broadly with like Venmos and PayPals of the world, it's pretty limited geographically. I think like one thing I'm excited about with the .brave domains is like this ability to kind of unlock having human readable ways to send funds like anywhere and kind of disintermediate all of that. And so I've been talking with our head of design about some ways that we can make that easier for users too and go there. But the first test of all that was like, can we move the domains? Like, is there a demand for this? Like, and right now what we're seeing, I mean, like close to 7,000 registered in less than 2 months is like huge. And it puts us right on track for the ICANN submission. So, the potential for this to get much larger is awesome. And so, it's a pretty exciting time right now. I think there's been a lot of pent up, just kind of like hope around, getting a better environment now that we're here. A lot of energy around like executing and getting, the best cases out there that we can. So I don't know, Baz, if you're freed up or whatever, or anybody else has any questions, happy to kind of dig in while we got some time left here.
How do you think tokenized equities will affect crypto?
I think it's going to do a bunch of things. One, obviously, a lot of these equities are traded in certain markets that people in different regions don't have access to. So first off, you're going to open up the world to these markets in a way that they haven't been opened up before. The other thing too is that it seems small, but it's a big deal. Like, equities are traded during on hours, business days, right? Like by putting these into crypto, you're going to have trading happening, around the world 24/7. Ultimately, I think one of the interesting things to read right now is like how some of these things are playing out, where there are these wrinkles right now, where I'm seeing posts about it, like, okay, how are people going to handle liquidity on these, like during off hours and stuff? And so I think the kinks are getting worked out, but you're going to see, like, I think more and more attention from fintech, because this is new and it's in their realm now. I think it's going to open up opportunity for a lot of people, even if you want to own a fraction of something, like it does this. But the other interesting thing that you're going to start to see private companies like issuing out tokens for their for their private stock, which is interesting because like you don't have a lot of access to that right now as an everyday person, right? So I think it's going to be interesting to see where these things go. It's also going to be interesting to see how, okay, if these are really going to end up being work like in a DeFi way, I don't know if you all remember, like DeFi summer was wacky. Like you saw some pretty interesting experiments happen where, potential for yield and interesting, like, opportunities start to show up. It never ceases to get weird in the crypto space. So I think like, it'll be interesting to see what happens there. I also think there's going to be a bunch of like crossover where so much focus has been on meme coins and stuff like that. I think a lot of that's going to shift to the equity side. I think it's going to disrupt a lot of the altcoins too. And that's part of the reason why we're working on some updates on our side too to things, because if we can go with the trend on this and the main thing that makes me excited about this is that like, these are just more steps towards playing to our advantage, right? Like Brave's advantage is that we're close. We're line of sight to 100 million monthly active users. Like addressable user base is all of Chrome. It's over 3.5 billion users, right? What we're seeing happening with crypto is it's not getting rejected. We're seeing instead more traditional finance things that everyday users are more familiar with becoming more and more integrated into the crypto space, which is great for us because realistically, like the next 10, 20, 30 million crypto users already theoretically exist in Brave. We just haven't met them where we need to for them to get excited or to get access to it or show the value. So I think this is going to be like transformative in a lot of ways. And I think that it's one of those things too, where there's a lot of known unknowns and we're going to start to see interesting new things pop up that we didn't necessarily expect either. So I'm pretty stoked for it. I think this is going to be an exciting time and, never a dull moment. You know what I mean?
So you don't think it will devalue crypto at all?
I don't think it'll devalue things. I think it will disrupt things, right? Because now, just like how when meme coins blew up or NFTs blew up, it's another place where liquidity moves, right? So I think you're going to see new inflows of people that are in markets that want to play with this stuff that'll be coming in. I also think you're going to see things shift. Like I think a lot of focus that was on putting money into meme coins is probably going to shift over to these equities because it's new and also like familiar and it's a little more serious than these other markets. So you're going to see things get disrupted. I think there's I think the mid cap alts are going to get disrupted too. And this again is where I think like we have an advantage in the fact that we have working product with, tens of millions of people using it in a world where like this market starts to get more grown up. Like we are the grown-ups right now. You know what I mean? So I think that, I think everything impacts everything. Right. But I think this is all in all a positive. It's not like, the world's gonna like there's gonna be parts of this world that are gonna stay like very Wild West, but then there's also gonna be parts that are gonna get more that's part of kind of bigger adoption. And I think that the crypto space has kind of had blinders on to a lot of this, and I think it's pretty evident with how things have shaken out. Like how many products are there in the crypto space that your neighbors want to use, right? Like that there's demand for, and the answer to that is there's not barely any, right? So like, it's about time that we started to turn this around and build things that people actually start to touch and use and get value from. We've always been doing that here. And so like, I'm excited to kind of see where this goes and get it in front of more people too.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Baz, are you still unavailable, or you want to jump on in?
Yeah, I'll try to jump in real quick. Yeah, I had one of the things I wanted to ask about is, and I know I already DM'd you about it, is some guest appearances on some podcasts. Like what's I sent you another message, but I didn't hear back. What's the best way to like getting you in contact with those people? Get that set up. I know I probably need to like review some of their content just to double check there's not any spiciness that's too spicy or anything going on. But
yeah, no, that's great. I so what I can do is like I can start an email with our producer, I think, and if you have like folks that you're in contact with or whatever, like I'm happy to kind of like have her connect like and get them, because there's all this like pre-game stuff that she does with them. But I'd love to do that, like and get. I've been trying to get out there too more, so I think any help with connections there is appreciated. So I'll reply back to you after this with and we can get that started with her.
okay, cool. Did Chris get up with you about DApp Central? I think he mentioned that he potentially would, but it wasn't fully clear to me.
I have a call with him right after this call, or about an hour after this call, and so my call with him last week got pushed because we were traveling, so I didn't get a chance to connect with him on that. So I imagine we're going to talk about it today.
I mean, if he doesn't, that's fine. I just wasn't 100% sure.
How did it go with Chris last week from your point of view?
For the rewards, or are you talking about New York?
Yeah. Just like how was it on the call and all that?
I was kind of multitasking in fairness, but I mean, I think it went good. I know I still have, some, maybe it's more mild, but like concerns, just like kind of, thinking through how it's going to work with, seeing the wallets and other stuff. And sorry, one second.
Okay, cool.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, no problem, man. Right on.
Okay, I'm back. Yeah, so with like seating and stuff like that, and how that's gonna work with like also just trying to get more, non-crypto native users. Of course, I don't really know the breakdown of how much of the user base is crypto native versus not when it comes to the rewards platform. I do know I have talked to some people who told me they would 100% sign up for rewards if there was like no thought required level version where they could basically just do charity rewards without having to basically do anything else but click a button or two.
Yeah,
but might be
like I think you're gonna dig what we're working on, because this is like exactly that vein. Like I think we need to like, there's a mix of things right now, right? Like getting people on chain is tricky, but I also think that like the way we're doing it's kind of tricky too. So like part of what we're working on is like, how can we make it simplified for, how can we move things together where this is much more like adding a payment option than having to like onboard your life into something new. You know what I mean? Like, and then also like, what are some ways that we can add additional rewards into the flow of things? Anyway, I think you're going to be pretty stoked with some of the stuff we're cooking up, but that's cool to hear.
Yeah, and like I told Chris, I mean, I kind of caveat and get the context of, some of this too, it might just be more that, I haven't seen it yet, but, once I actually see it in action, some of these things might have already been thought through and kind of worked out some too. So, still very excited for it. And I mean, I think everyone always appreciates it when Chris comes on. And
yeah, for sure. Awesome. Yeah, and how was did you guys have a good time in New York too? It's super cool that you were able to make it out.
Yeah, I did. I think every form of transportation was fighting most everyone, but we made it through that. I kind of just lean into the chaos of that part of it. But the events themselves were good. I enjoyed them. I felt they were a little bit more like social and like meet people, talk to people one-on-one or in small groups than I was expecting. But hey, I mean, I'm cool with that. That's honestly right up my alley and that's fun to me. So it was also cool getting to hear a little bit about Midnight. Definitely interesting to learn more. I still need to watch the talk with Brendan about, because I think that might also clarify some things for me, and be pretty insightful. But it was a good time. Good meeting some brave people in person who I've been looking for a chance to meet up with for a while, and making some new friends and connections. Hopefully a few of those can be mutually beneficial for us and the other parties, and lead to other things later on. But I know some of the Midnight people also apparently are based like basically right where I'm at. So I'm going to try to get in contact with them. Hopefully it didn't throw off their main guy when he asked for my email and it wasn't a Brave email, but because he hasn't responded since then. But I'm just assuming he just hasn't gotten around to it yet. But beyond that, I mean, not really New York related, but I know they're like trying to restart up a few like blockchain and Web3 like student groups in my area. So I've kind of been in contact with a few of the people who are working on that, see if there's ways I can help support them with getting that off the ground by like, getting them connected with people who can either do talks for them or be guests, or just helping them also know people in the community or where they can like maybe reach out to for some resources. So it's kind of something I've been doing on the side, and I'll probably end up doing a talk about Brave and privacy and that for them at some point. But I've just kind of tried to do the local stuff as well. But yeah, New York was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. Tried a lot of pizza too.
Yeah, no, it's super cool. Like, it's cool that I thought it was so cool that they invited everybody out there, and it's awesome to like have back and have included among these communities that are eligible for this drop too. So I'm excited to see how that pans out. And
yeah, I kind of played myself a little bit on that because for whatever, I mean, I'll definitely get for some of the other coins, and I'll get some of it for BAT, but for whatever reason at that time, I actually have decent amount of add-on exchanges. So, well.
I know it's rough. Yeah, but yeah, it is what it is. Well,
it's what it is.
What else do you want to cover? Was there anything else?
I mean, those were kind of the main things. I figured you'd ask me about New York as well, but I mean, I'm always curious about like how the AI stuff in Brave, like how its usage is, and like what people's responses are. Because like I know for me, I know at first I was definitely like really impressed because for a while there, especially like the summarizer. Like I still feel like it actually does at least on par. Sometimes definitely better than some of the companies that I'm sure are spending 10,000x what y'all are on AI. So, but I'm always curious about that because like I know how much money like a lot of these big companies spend on and like kind of the long-term strategy. But I also have to admit I haven't read the new AI roadmap because I guess I didn't see that
It
came out.
came out. I think it just came out yesterday too. They, but no, I think it's interesting too. Like that you point that out because I'm looking at how, gosh, this is so weird when you see like I don't know if you're seeing this on X too, but it's almost like draft season where like people are trading these like AI engineers between these companies and making a big deal about it and like the amount of money that's getting thrown around and it's wild, but at the same time like our team is just making some pretty quality updates and improvements to our summarize in these features where it is kind of one of those things where yeah, having a ton of money is good, but also like you can tune things and get some optimized improvements that are pretty excellent. There's so much like just hand wavy fluff out there that like the average scrappy folks to do impactful things is still pretty good, I think.
There's a lot of brute force by a lot of the big spenders in the industry, I would say.
100%.
You know, like spending money on like really stupid stuff or just like not trying to optimize at all, but just like trying to raw power through as well. So, I mean, I'm not sure what to think of some of their strategies. I'll just put it that way. But
I don't know. Like half the time, I think it's like a lot of it's like navel gazing, weird stuff. Like I honestly, it was. I was talking to somebody about this the other day, where it is an interesting scenario we're in right now, where you have like it doesn't happen very often where you have like basically like a Fortune 500 mandate from the C teams of all these companies to integrate AI wherever you can just so they can look good or whatever. But at the same time, like the market fit is not really there yet for a lot of this. So you end up getting like weird just copy pasta everywhere of like things that are people are doing and calling it innovative and stuff. And so it's really interesting to kind of like sit back and watch some of this because like I don't know, like I got to go to like a pretty decent dinner in Palo Alto like last week and it was all about AI and I was kind of pushing people asking like what they're up to. And the best answers I got were basically like clones of what like Perplexity, OpenAI, and we were doing. Like it's just like a lot of like not ton of like breakthrough stuff happening. At the same time, you have like these player cards with engineers that are getting thrown around. It's really kind of it reminds me of like crypto stuff before, but it's still a little different, you know?
yeah, I was going to actually ask you if AI kind of reminds you of crypto in some ways, and that there's a lot of projects that are really just tech looking for a solution. They're building tech, hoping a solution, a problem arises that they fix.
So much of it is, and like, but at the same time, you can't ignore certain signals, right?
Yeah,
because like Google dominance going down for the first time in at least 10 years is like material, right? Like, and
yeah,
it's forcing change in ways too. And so it's one of those things where you're getting all things from all worlds kind of colliding and the fear and all this stuff that's getting thrown around. It's kind of even, I don't know if you guys saw this. So like, I don't even know how to feel about it too. I probably shouldn't be talking about it, but I don't care. But like, I don't know if you guys saw what Cloudflare did today, but basically like, they're shutting off the ability for bots to crawl sites like AI bots or whatever, and forcing them to do like a pay to consume thing or whatever paywall.
Oh man,
which is interesting because like they're framing it as like Independence Day for content or something, and part of me is like, okay, like I get there's a lot of celebration around this from a lot of people, but it's one of those things where like I take a step back, right? Like one, I didn't realize how big Cloudflare is now, right? Like Cloudflare is like
Huge.
19.5% of all the web goes through Cloudflare, which is huge, right? Like, and then if you break it down to like the top, I think it was the top 10,000 websites, like 4,232 of them are Cloudflare sites. That's a huge. So one day they just decide we're going to do this thing to turn off, AI access to the sites to help creators, like, and it's going to be behind this model that'll be pay to play, valued based on what? Like, I don't know. It is like it's very odd, right? Like, because like part of you is like, okay, I'm glad that creators are getting something. On the other end of it, it's also like, whoa, like one company can do this and have that big of an impact on a whim is wild, man. Like, and then another part of me is also like, wouldn't it be more of a market response to like enable this, like release the feature, tell your customers about it, and then see how many of them turn it on, and then see what the reach is of that, or the take rate is for that, to see like how they are. Because like I don't know, it seems very brute force, like you were saying earlier. Like this seems like a very brute force thing, and it's also like, damn, dude, one company. Everyone talks about Google, and then here's the other weird thing about it. So you can frame the whole thing as like, oh well, Google had this agreement with content creator, and I'm like, wait a minute, like Google made a monopoly out of search, right? Like really lauding that is like the ideal, and then like now is Cloudflare like becoming the new Google? I don't know. I'm very like all over the place with it right now, just because it's also
fair.
But it is interesting to see the dynamics of this stuff right now.
For sure. And I mean, I think also people should keep in mind, I think contextually, both me and Luke do think there is a lot of interesting and promising things with both AI and crypto, but it's also just kind of trying to be realistic about things, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, but it is very interesting seeing how Google has played this because, back in the day, like, Google would not have been a thing if one of the old players of the .com era had just accepted a pitch to them to basically buy what ended up being Google. Becoming Google later on. But, they didn't want to change their stuff because, it's what they view as making them money. And in some ways, Google's kind of is a little bit the same now, except for, starting from a way more dominant position. They probably could have done this AI search and other stuff earlier, but they, it just didn't fit their business model good. But now they're trying to play catch up. It's probably not going to ever get back to the same level of profitability for them.
It's just going to be different, right? Like, and the way they bundle it, and even now, like you're seeing, like Bing's like kind of shuttering their API for search, but then both Google and Bing are doing this thing called like search grounding they're doing like APIs for AI that they like back up with search for that, which is super interesting because then it's like, okay, well, there's another layer there of interpretation, like on the output, right? So like you're getting a wrapped version of something from them on an API call, and that's cool, but like also what about the raw data? Like, like I think, it's just really interesting time right now with all this stuff, and it's disruptive, and meanwhile there's all this DOJ stuff kind of looming overhead too. And honestly, like looking at all that, I'm just like, man, like which scenario does they not end up making a lot of money? It's just a super interesting time right now, like
for sure.
Here for it,
But yeah, if you ever need me on your podcast, talk junk about AI, the internet, and other stuff, just let me know.
Maybe I'll do like a community episode, get a couple of people on. It'd be kind of fun.
Get Griff on. He I'm sure it would be fun having him on. I know he's not on the community calls very much anymore, but I'm sure he would take you up on it.
All right. And I'll plug you together with our producer too. We can get some of this scheduled.
Okay.
All right, Baz.
Sounds good.
I know we're 5 minutes over, so thanks everybody. I know it's a summer call, and appreciate everybody that made the time to come on today. We'll be back 1 week from today, same bat time, same bat channel from the Batcave too, and super excited for you guys to see that. Until then, I'll see you all online and have a great week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.